You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight at 9 for DC News Now. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran in for Thusmeen Mahfouz. A local Navy SEAL with deep ties to Maryland dies trying to save a fellow teammate who fell off a ship in the Arabian Sea.
And Navy SEAL Christopher Chambers was a high school swimmer in Chevrolet and a standout athlete at the University of Maryland.
Reporter Jan-Marie Sisse spoke with one of his former swim team students. And Jan-Marie, how are they doing and reacting to this news?
Yeah, many people are just very heartbroken by this news. Now, before Christopher Chambers joined the Navy SEALs, he actually started right here in Chevrolet at the Chevrolet Swim and Rocket Club. Many of his students know him as Coach Chris, and several of his college coaches say they truly miss him.
Christopher Chambers is the epitome of a hero.
In his 37 years, Navy SEAL Christopher Chambers made an impact on many lives, including Maryland State Delegate Julian Ivey.
Just by being our coach.
It began right here at Chevrolet Swim and Rocket Club.
He was the type who would show up early to practice, and he'd be the last one to leave. And he's just teaching you work ethic day in and day out. Teaching you about integrity.
Chambers played on several teams, including swimming at Bishop McNamara High School in Forestville before moving to Massachusetts. At the University of Massachusetts, he swam for former coach Russ Yarworth.
Basically, my number one memory is a big mass of curly blonde hair and a big smile. He was always a really cheerful kid.
Chambers made his way back to the Crab State and joined the University of Maryland Terp swim team his sophomore year. Everyone Chambers encountered recognized his willingness to help others.
He's an individual who put himself in the line of fire, quite frankly.
On January 11th, Chambers died trying to save operator Nathan Gage Ingram when he jumped into the Arabian Sea during a mission. They both died.
Yeah, I mean, he was a well-liked teammate and certainly would have stepped up for any of them in any situation. And that's obviously what he did in his final moments. And like I said, he's a hero to me.
If you ever think about having a son and what an ideal son would look like, you don't have to look any further. Christopher Chambers is that individual, and I just hope that he's resting easy now.
Now, Chambers was only 37 years old. He enlisted in the Navy back in 2012, graduated from the Navy SEAL in 2014, and has won several awards within his career. For now, reporting in Chevrolet, Maryland, I'm Jan-Marie Sisse, DC News Now.
Yeah, what an impact, certainly an American hero. Jan-Marie, thank you. Now, it is standard protocol for Navy SEALs to jump into the water to rescue a teammate when they go overboard. An 11-day rescue mission was just called off Sunday and became a recovery effort.
New at 9, a former high school basketball coach in Arlington, Virginia is being charged with sex crimes involving students. George Portia coached girls basketball at Washington Liberty High School, then at Washington Lehigh. From 2000 to 2003, police arrested him this month when two girls who were students at the time came forward with the allegations. Now we're sharing his photo because police believe there are more victims.
In Maryland, the murder conviction for the daughter of a former U.S. intelligence director has been thrown out. Sofia Negroponte, daughter of John Negroponte, was sentenced to 35 years in prison after being convicted of killing a longtime friend inside the Rockville Airbnb where she was living back in 2020. According to the Washington Post, the appeals court said jurors should never have seen some of the statements and interrogation video at trial. The court has ordered a new trial.
We head to Northwest D.C., where a CVS store plagued with massive shoplifting is closing its doors next month. The shelves, take a look, empty tonight as people came in just for their prescriptions at this point. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg spoke with customers there at the Columbia Heights store. That's at Irving and 14th Streets. And Daniel, I mean, how are these folks reacting to this news?
Well, Susan, there is a lot of disappointment, but not necessarily shock, given the history of shoplifting that we've seen here. And that's including a security guard inside and, as you can see, plenty of security cameras on the outside.
There's hardly anything left on the shelves at the CVS in Columbia Heights. The only things fully stocked appear to be the greeting card aisle, the sunscreen supply, and of course the pharmacy.
I just noticed coming in the last week that it's been depleting more and more each time I came in.
I sad that they about to close this place.
Customers have seen the decline in recent months.
They stopped stocking up probably about 6 months ago.
Thomas Arzu has seen groups of teens steal merchandise after school.
They just grab stuff and run out. Security officer can't, his job is not to chase people, but, you know, as a deterrent. They don't feel deterred in the least bit.
While CVS won't say crime is the reason the store is closing, customers infer the writing's been on the walls.
The way I heard they got hit over here, as many times as they did, I really don't blame them.
It was just a matter of time.
CVS saying in a statement that store closure decisions include factors such as local market dynamics, population shifts, store density, and other access points to meet the community's health and wellness needs.
It's more inconvenient for me not to have them now, but you know, they're a business.
The last day of business will be February 29th.
Now, CVS says all prescriptions will be transferred to the CVS in Adams Morgan on Columbia Road. Of course, customers can also get them transferred to other CVS locations. As for the employees who work here, they will be moved within the company to comparable roles. We're live in Northwest. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, Daniel, thanks. Let's get a first check on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. And we are finally on the rebound.
I know, Janessa, just a couple of days ago, we were freezing, and soon we'll be able to peel off those parkas.
Yeah, I love a good rebound, right? We're making a comeback. That's us in the DMV. I'm calling this one a January thaw across the region. So any snowpack that's currently on the ground, it's starting to be visibly reduced across the region. So excited for that. Warmer air is going to start to track in here as we go into the next 24 hours. It comes with a big cost, folks. It's the increase in clouds that we are currently seeing on satellite composite radar, fairly thick out there. Been really relevant across the area all day long, and that's going to continue into your midweek as well. What's the major player? It's out towards the deep south, so this bad boy is taking its time, the storm system, and it's allowing all these dense fog advisories across the center of the country. Possible we'll start to see that fog develop early morning tomorrow due to a lot of condensation and moisture in the upper atmosphere, and so that low pressure it will make its way in by tomorrow evening. It's allowing for the warm up, though. You can see the upper 30s right now at the 9 o'clock hour, and so tonight not as cool as what we've been dealing with the last couple of nights. Let's talk about tomorrow morning as you are going out the door. Look at 9 a.m. Love that. 41, and really with daytime highs being about 5 to 7 degrees warmer, an ideal day across the DMV. We do have rain for your evening hours on Wednesday and then widespread on Thursday. Let's look at totals coming up.
All right, a major fentanyl bust in Prince George's County leads to 9 people facing drug trafficking charges. Police searched a home in Riverdale last week. They say they found more than 13,000 fentanyl pills, along with cocaine and firearms. Now, in a separate incident last week, 3 people were arrested in a drug bust in Laurel. In that case, police say they recovered more than 3,000 fentanyl pills. County's deputy chief saying tonight his department is determined to arrest those who bring fentanyl into that community.
All right, we're going to turn our attention to Virginia now, where there are struggles to combat the fentanyl crisis. The top prosecutor in the Commonwealth spent the night there in Prince William County to talk about the crisis and what can be done. Our Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Max Marcilla joins us live there from Potomac Valley Church. And Max, what is the message that the Attorney General is giving to everybody?
Well, the main message, and the one that was really perceived the strongest by the people here, was when the Attorney General, Jason Miyares, held up a little Ziploc plastic baggie with maybe a spoonful or two of what was actually sugar in the bag. And he said if this was fentanyl, it would be enough to kill everybody in the room, if not twice. So that was the most striking moment of the night and something that really resonated with a lot of people. But the rest of the evening was spent discussing the problem and trying to find solutions, because there are many communities throughout Virginia, including Northern Virginia, that are struggling with fentanyl. So tonight's panel was attended by the Attorney General, also the First Lady of Virginia, a Prince William County supervisor, a Prince William County Police Chief Peter Newsham and a DEA assistant. The group that attended tonight was trained in Narcan, the overdose reversal medication, and was told of the resources available, though the panel did discuss there being a need for additional resources. Miyares said tonight was an important step to opening the conversation.
We just want to have a message to every Virginian. There is beauty in asking for help, and there's more resources for those to provide for you than ever before.
Now, coming up on DC News Now at 10, we spoke with a few people who came here, a Fairfax County mother and a Fairfax County high school senior who said they came here because they saw this tragedy in their own community. So coming up at 10, hear their words about why they came here, what they learned, and what they'll bring back to their community. Reporting live in Prince William County, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
All right, staying in Virginia, the state Senate has voted unanimously in support of a bill that would end legacy admissions in the Commonwealth. So if the bill does become law, colleges and universities will no longer be allowed to give preferential treatment to student applicants based on legacy status. So legacy status, that's when the applicant's family member previously attended that school. The bill has support from both parties and now goes to the House of Delegates.
So most schools here do not provide the data. And an Associated Press survey found, though, that in 2022, legacy students in some of the nation's most selective colleges made up between 4 to 23% of the freshman class. The AP found that at 4 schools, Notre Dame, USC, Cornell, and Dartmouth, legacy students outnumbered black students.